Alpha Warhead emergency detonation sequence engaged.
So lately, I've been slowly getting back into SCP Secret Laboratory. I'm not entirely sure why. I haven't been consistently playing and streaming it like I used to, because I used to play this game every day. But I have found myself revisiting the game and actually enjoying a lot of the changes that Northwood has made. Granted, there's a lot of changes that I disagree with, but that's not really what this video is about. What I want to talk about is something that I kind of picked up on and noticed that at first I couldn't believe that had happened, but the more I played, the more interesting that I found the actual changes. And that change, of course, if you've read the title, is about the changes to the SCPs, most of them, and their ability to kill humans in one hit kill. So if you're not familiar or you just don't understand, the term one-hit kill is pretty self-explanatory. One-hit kill is when you hit something and you kill them in one hit. Now, this had been a large part of the SCP Secret Laboratory game for the longest time. A lot of people don't realize this, but if we go way, and I mean way back into the past of SCP Secret Laboratory, every SCP could kill humans in one hit except for Dog, who could kill them in two hits. And honestly, old 939, that's what they called him, he could pretty much kill you in what I would consider technically a one-hit kill, because if you just clicked your mouse really fast twice, you were pretty much going to kill the opponent anyways. But having come back to the game and sort of seeing the changes, I kind of wanted to do a little bit of a retrospective, because I feel like a lot of people don't really talk about it, or in the moment people were kind of shocked about the changes to SCPs, but then kind of moved on because, people have short-term memories, and there's been so many changes over the years that it's hard to keep track. And some changes, you look back on and you wonder how that was ever a thing in the game, and then time passes and you forget that it ever was a thing in the game. Like infinite sprint, once upon a time being a thing. But I just wanted to make this video because it's just kind of been, lingering in the back of my mind, and I wanted to kind of explain what I've seen with each of the SCPs individually, and then what my ultimate thoughts are. Don't consider this a review. This is more just a ramble, a rant, a discussion about something I thought was really cool. Now, before I actually talk about the SCPs that have lost their one-hit kill, I do want to just quickly touch on the SCPs that still have one-hit kills. Peanut, or SCP-173 as he's known, still has his one-hit kill. It is a bit of a technicality because Peanut is, yes, he can kill you in one hit no matter what your health is, but he has to, right click and then line up his teleport. So I don't know how much I really count that as being a one-hit kill, but yeah, technically he's a one-hit kill, but it's highly situational, so I don't really consider it. And also, he hasn't changed in terms of his attack. Now, granted, his side abilities have changed, but his core gameplay loop of if you see him, he freezes, he teleports, he kills you, has pretty much stayed the same. So I wouldn't really consider him a one-hit kill in the traditional sense. Also, funnily enough, whilst they never had a one-hit kill, 939 has received a one-hit kill in the form of her pounce attack, which I thought was pretty fascinating. Now, like I said, I know I said that she technically had a one-hit kill in the past, because if you just spam click left really quickly when you attacked someone, you attacked 2 times in a row, and it was basically like a one-hit kill anyways. But with that being said, the new pounce I actually thought was really cool. The reason why I find it a really cool one-hit kill is because it's highly situational, and it can often go pretty badly. There's a lot of counterplay involved with her one-hit kill. She has to crouch down and charge. It takes a few seconds, and it leaves her very vulnerable. And if she misses her jump, she's essentially just jumped into the middle of a pack of humans with guns who are just going to start shooting her. So I thought that this was actually an example of what I thought was a good one-hit kill. It's not cheesy. Well, it is very cheesy. Honestly, the way it's used is cheesy. Most of the time, you're going to see it used by dogs who are waiting for humans to walk by. So they're going to close the door. Mostly guards. If we're being honest, it's usually guards at the start of the game. The dog will go to the gate, crouch down, wait for an unsuspecting guard to walk through, and then it's going to jump out and just immediately eviscerate that guard. That's usually the process. But for me, I like it because, yes, it's a one-hit kill, but it's not a free one-hit kill. There's caveats to it. Now, some might argue that, oh, but it's just cheese anyway. It's not really used, strategically. Yes, but I still also think that while it might not be the most strategic ability, the way people use it, I actually think one, thematically, it's a masterpiece. It makes so much sense on this character. It just feels right. It really does feel like their ability. Two, I really do think one-hit kills, if we're gonna, remove one-hit kills, they should only be done in the form of secondary abilities. They really shouldn't be the primary attack, with the only exception being 1-7 free, who, once again has that technicality of, his attack is also his gimmick. So the way they've done it with 939, I found rather tasteful. I like it. Some might disagree. Some might think it's cheesy. I personally think that this was the best implementation of a one-hit kill attack in honestly most asymmetrical horror games I've played. Like, I'm that impressed. If you asked me for a good killer move that kills a player from, like, honestly, in any asymmetrical horror game you want to pull from, if you want to bring up Dead by Daylight, or Left 4 Dead, or Texas Chainsaw Massacre, or Evolve, if you really want to dig deep, all these horror games where it's like humans versus monsters, I think this specific ability was actually a stroke of genius on their behalf. I don't want to jerk them off too much, Northwood Studios. This could honestly be a fluke. But whoever did come up with the idea for dog pounds, pat yourself in the back, because this was actually good for once. You did a good job for once. Well done. And before you come at me, last but not least, there is SCP-3114, aka Skeleton Man, aka the Spooky Skeleton. I'm going to be completely honest, I don't consider his strangulation a one-hit kill. Yes, technically, if you're in light and you're a D-boy and you walk past him and he grabs you and nobody has a gun, it's not like they can really help you. I mean, yeah, if they have the pistol, they could maybe shoot him to free you, but it's one, who's gonna waste the pistol ammo to shoot a skeleton to save someone when 5 seconds later he's just gonna grab you instead? And two, I mean, what are the odds that someone has a gun when you're getting strangled by the skeleton? Yes, when he grabs you, he's gonna choke you out, but that's only one part of the game, and then he kind of loses that ability to one-hit kill. I don't consider it a true one-hit kill, also because it can kind of be interrupted, and it's so situational. I do almost place it in sort of that category of 1-7 free, where it's a part of their gameplay. Also, let's be real here, a lot of servers that I play on actually have this new plugin that's going around where he's not able to choke you if you are unarmed. If you are unarmed, like a D-boy or a scientist, he can't actually strangle you. He can only basic attack you. A lot of them implemented that because a lot of people felt that his gameplay loop was unfair, which I get. Personally, I don't really see it as unfair. I mean, remember Peanut going around at the start of the game? You literally spawned in as a D-boy 5 seconds ago. Turn a corner, you decided to go your own path. You didn't walk with the big crowd because you wanted to find a card, and then what? No way. 1-7 free was just around the corner, and what do you know? He snapped your neck because you were by yourself. So I don't consider 3114's strangulations a one-hit kill. If you do, good for you. But this is my video, so get fucked. All right, the first SCP I'm going to want to talk about is 106. Now, I'm going to just say it. It's going to be a bit of a controversial take, but I think that losing the one-hit kill was way worse for 106 than it was for 096. Not worse than 049, but I think 106 got a huge nerf losing his one-hit kill. And I remember the day it dropped. It's funny because every other SCP, when 096 lost his one hit kill, people celebrated that. That's one thing I don't think people remember. People hated 096. People actually, even people who generally don't like playing SCP, even they thought this was an over nerf. 106 losing his one hit kill was such a huge nerf to him for a couple of reasons why. And honestly, he's been pretty heavily nerfed. First, losing his one hit kill kind of sucked for him because if we're being honest, he's already pretty bad at killing people. Remember, he doesn't actually kill people, he teleports them. Now, yes, they do technically die, but honestly, I swear, when you play 106, all of a sudden, everyone just has like 1 trillion good luck karma, and you teleport 5 people, and like 4 of them escape. Every time 106 is in the game, I swear to God, if I'm playing him, everyone escapes. If I'm playing against him, I never escape. It just feels like that. I know that's probably, bias, but that's how it feels. So to not only have that stupid RNG mini game that you have to deal with as 106 to kill people, you now have the added annoyance of trying to click someone twice as one of the slowest moving SCPs in the game, and honestly, one of the most obvious approaching SCPs. This is one thing people really don't talk about, but one thing I've noticed with SCPs is they have so many sound cues when they're nearby. People don't realize it, but back in the day, the sound design in SCP, well, I will say, in terms of ambiance, was way better. But in terms of like visibility and clarity, it was not great. Like, you really just did not know when SCPs were going to come around. Granted, I think that made it scarier, but for gameplay purposes, they have made it very easy to tell. I mean, 106 is just the loudest SCP, and I honestly find it very obnoxious that he's supposed to be an ambush SCP when he's so goddamn loud. Like, it's obvious the devs want you to teleport as 106 behind the enemy team, nothing personnel, kid. And when he teleports behind you, he's supposed to, start, grabbing people, and everyone's supposed to freak out, and he's supposed to break the enemy. That's the thing. He went from being a tank that runs straight at the enemy to a tank that appears in the middle of the enemy. He's much squishier now, but I do think they still kind of have him as a pseudo off tank. His job is to teleport in between people and kind of sow chaos, ironically, in the team to throw everybody off. The problem is not really what happens from my experience. What happens if you actually try to do the teleport behind you, nothing personnel kid play, everyone just kind of hears you, you know, jizzing out of the ground. It's what it sounds like personally. He just kind of out of the ground, and everyone hears it from like a 500-mile radius. And if they're good, they immediately turn around and shoot you because there's like a few seconds where you can't do anything as you're pulling yourself out of the ground. And I have actually made the mistake of going to gate B and pulling myself out of the ground to ambush. And like, honestly, if you're a good MTF and you hear Larry coming out of the ground, your first instinct should just be to turn around and just like mag dump him. And if you do it with 3 or 4 people, by the time he's out of the ground, he should be dead, realistically. Like, he shouldn't even get out of the ground. You've seen it all the time. When 106 ports into the ground, people start shooting him, trying to kill him before he gets away. And it's the same way the other way. When he's coming out of the ground, that's like a good 5 seconds. You can just mag dump him with no way of him hitting you back. And so, because of that, I really don't like his core gameplay loop now of trying to ambush people whilst being the most obvious ambusher. So slow, and his 1-hit kill got removed, and it's a 2-hit kill. And it doesn't even kill them later on if you only tag them once. It does like 60 damage. Everyone has a med kit. There's always like 5 med kits on the floor whenever you're walking around. You just pick them up and heal. He's been nerfed so badly. And honestly, it's made him so much more team reliant. Since he lost his bullet resistance, whatever, the old bullet resistance was annoying. He was just a full-on bullet sponge. But he really cannot run straight at people, which again is obvious because they don't want him to have such a linear gameplay. But now that he can't run straight at people and he's supposed to ambush him and he's still kind of bad at it. Also, again, some servers have a rule you're not allowed to go in and out of the elevator as 106. It does depend, like, you're not even allowed to, like, come out of the floor near an elevator. So that's pretty lame. And so his whole core gameplay loop is just terrible. It just doesn't feel fun to play. There's a reason why most people have 106 like turned all the way down on preference, and that's just even in their attempt to rework him, they've just made him miserable to play. He's just not fun. He relies too much on his team nowadays to help him, which I get makes sense, but no one really likes relying on teammates to help you. He's mostly meant to pick off lone targets that I feel straggle behind. Honestly, he's not even that good at that specific task, and he's lost a lot of power. The only thing I feel that has become stronger about him is, funnily enough, his ability to delay game. Old 106 could delay the game pretty long, but there was always a risk he would get contained, or there was always the risk that he would be full health and there would be like 10 MTF and he would just stand around the corner at like in Warhead room or on surface or somewhere. He would camp and he would just click people as they tried to go and get him, and he would just get a bunch of kills. Now he can't do that anymore, which is good, but he's actually really slippery. I don't know if you've experienced it, you probably have, but I've had too many games where he jumps in the floor and runs away and then jumps out and the game just goes on forever. So him losing the one hit kill is probably for the best considering what he does now with his stupid teleporting away from every fight and jumping out to get like one guy. But it was a serious nerf. I don't think he's weak by any means. I think he sucks to play and I don't like playing him. I just think he's unfun, and losing the one hit kill really put the nail in the coffin for him. He still works fine, and he's still, like, you still want him on your team, honestly, because he's such a nuisance. But let's be real here. Everybody, like, wants a 106 on their team, same way everybody wants an 079 on their team, but nobody actually wants to play 079 or 106. Usually. There's a couple people who are like mains of them almost, but they're weirdos. Alrighty, the next SCP that I want to talk about in terms of losing their one hit kill, 049. Honestly, this was the one hit kill nerf. People slept on this, which is weird to me because, again, like I said earlier in the video, people were ranting about 106. Oh, they're catering to noobs. Oh, they're catering to casuals. People just don't know how to play the game. No, this is the one I feel people should have talked about. This guy was so reliant on his one hit kill. He's so slow. He's so, like, immobile. He's so linear, and his gimmick is so unreliable. Like, his gimmick, I get what they're trying to build. I respect what they're trying to build around with 049's one hit kill. The removal of it. They're trying to get away from him. Let's be real here. Old 049, this is how you played old 049. Be doctor, stand around a door, like in the corner, and then spam left click when someone's like about to walk by, instantly kill them, revive them. 50-50 chance they either quit the game or play zombie, but they're probably throwing themselves into a Tesla if we're being real. And that was his old gameplay look. But if you could get people to stay, you could amass a pretty significant army. They're clearly doubling down on the whole army aspect as 049. That doesn't really work for me because I see people quit as zombie too much for it to be reliable. People hate playing zombie. They just quit. So him losing his one hit kill was seriously depressing. I think it was the biggest nerf in SCP. Personally, I genuinely think 049's loss of one hit kill is the biggest SCP nerf I've ever seen. Feel free to comment if you disagree and you feel there's another one, but I think this was like the worst thing that could have happened to him. And doubling down on the zombie gimmick did not help because, like I said, people quit. Yes, he can do his stupid little, chase you. He sticks out his arm. He still never manages to catch up to people with that thing unless he ambushes them. He's relying on ambushing, but he's shittier at ambushing people now. That's the ironic part. Like, he's even more ambush reliant now that he doesn't have a one-hit kill. Because, like, if he tries to walk up to anybody, he's dying straight up. Now, granted, you would die the same way last time, but now you don't even have a one-hit kill. The Hume Shield helps. The Hume Shield does help, but not enough to make this guy. And again, this is one of the SCPs that I feel most people just don't like playing. He just doesn't feel good to play. Okay, and it's hard to believe this guy ever had a one-hit kill with no cooldown. I don't know if people know this, but Overnine's one-hit kill didn't have a cooldown when the game first came out. He would walk into an elevator of 20 MTF, spam left click, and every single person would die. It was crazy. There's a reason why his attack had a cooldown, because it used to be funny. Sometimes you would see an 049 who was smart. They would stand at entrance, stand again by the door, like in the corner, and they would spam left kick, and like 5 people would run through, and as he was spamming left click, all 5 would get tagged and all 5 people would die. That made him incredibly oppressive. It makes sense why they got rid of the one-hit kill, because it's really oppressive, especially in a character like 049. But the problem is, I don't think they've given him buffs that really make him relevant. I think the zombie gimmick is too player reliant. I think, here's my take. If every single person you revived as a zombie actually tried their hardest to win the game for SCPs, I think he goes from being the weakest, like one of the weakest SCPs. Actually, I think I'm fair in saying he's the weakest. I actually consider him the weakest. I think he goes from the weakest SCP to the strongest. Like, that's genuinely made for. But it's so inconsistent. You just do not know if you're going to get, the sweatiest tryhard who's going to make like 15 call outs, and he's going to locate all the, he's going to run around and check all of light containment to make sure no one's down there. And then you get him, or you get, little Billy Jimmy, who's got, who's on hour 2 of his free hour weekly allowance to use the computer, and he's like, I'm playing the SCP Secret Laboratory, yay! And he's just being obnoxious, and he's like, I'm gonna be funny, I play soundboard, here's one you've never heard before, I'm gonna play Rick Roll music, or I'm gonna play Doom music, ha ha ha. Like, you just don't know. Or they just kill themselves again. I think this is the weakest 049 has ever been. I do think it's kind of good that they're trying to focus on his new gimmick of being almost his puppet master. And honestly, the old playstyle of Doctor was boring, but I don't know if this is it. Truth be told though, I can't think of a better direction to take him in, so I am being unfair if they want to focus on really amassing a zombie horde. For me personally, you know what they should do? They should make it that you should be honestly able to revive 2 people before the timer expires. He should, because realistically, 2 people, it's still a 100% chance that he has 0 zombies if he can revive them. But yeah, he needs his one-hit kill. Losing it, he's so trash without it. But we'll see what direction they take him in the future. Hopefully they can fix him up. But I put him bottom tier and the biggest victim of one-hit kill nerfs. SCP-096. This is going to be a hot take, but this whole video was nothing but hot takes. Losing his one-hit kills sucked. Like, they sucked pretty bad. And it doesn't feel great when you play him. And honestly, thematically, it doesn't even make sense. Like, he's supposed to be this unstoppable kill beast monster, but then you watch him in game and he, like, limply slaps a guy, like, 3 times to kill them. Don't get me wrong, he's still a monster, but, I actually don't think him getting nerfed was that bad. I don't think the loss of a one-hit kill affected his core gameplay loop. Like, realistically, if you look at him and you're by yourself, or honestly, if you look at him as a squad and you're in, like, entrance zone, it pretty much plays out the same. I'll be honest, I didn't even really realize that he had lost his one-hit kill. He was the one that, like, it was stealth for me. Like, I instantly noticed the loss of the one-hit kill in 106 or 049. Most situations with 096, even without his one-hit kill, play out the same. I mean, realistically, his issue has never been finishing off people. Like when he goes to kill someone, he can kill someone. He's pretty good at that. His issue has always just kind of been the fact that his counter is literally looking at the floor. And most people, even the most garbage player, once they figure it out, look at the floor. I don't think his one hit kill was that big of a nerf, truth be told. Hell, they could probably update it so that he needs to hit the opponent 3 times, and I don't think it would make that much of a change. Like, I can't think of any situations where I thought to myself, damn it, if this was old 096 and he had the one hit kill, I would have won that. I will say, Charge not being a one hit kill is kind of whack. The fact that it does 90 damage and cusses you, I mean, I don't think it's. I think Charge should be one hit kill. If they're, I know they do it because they're scared of like, used to be like 096 would charge down a hallway, and if you just happen to be in that hallway, you were dead. He'd kill like 10 people with a single charge. I get it. Maybe make it so that charge only kills people, who happen to have looked at him. Maybe you could do something like that. I think it is a one-hit kill on some servers due to plugins. On the wiki, it does have him listed as 90. Honestly, his damage is so inconsistent and all over the place that, truth be told, I don't even know where he is half the time. I actually don't think 096 is as bad as people say. I really do think people exaggerate how bad of a like SCP he is. I think he's wildly unfun to play. He is my least favorite SCP to play, even more so than 049, who I really just spent the last 10 minutes shitting on, 049, but 096's gameplay, like his core gameplay loop is so boring. You walk around, people like walk past. There's nothing worse than when you get 096 and a guard walks right past you looking at the floor and they taunt you. They're like, why are you crying? What are you gonna do? And you know you can't do anything because they're looking at the floor. Now, granted, one of his biggest strengths is when you are looking at the floor and then apparently you looked at his face and you just randomly you randomly trigger him and then he kills you. But outside of those niche situations, he's still just unfun to play, and his loss of his one hit kill is annoying. It's not game breaking in my opinion, and I don't think he's that strong. But I don't think he was that badly affected. I think he's fine. I think he's fine as he is. I will say though, he's boring to play, and realistically, balanced sometimes might be nice. Some might argue that he's not balanced. I honestly consider him balanced. But I do consider him boring, and that might be a greater sin than anything you could commit in a game. Because at the end of the day, this is a game. People want to have fun. So what if he's, easy to deal with nowadays? If he's not fun, there's not really any point. But yeah, look, it makes sense that he's lost his one-hit kills. It does look goofy, and it's kind of anticlimactic when he charges a group and he has to like take time hitting them. But I don't think it's wrong. I think he's fine as is. He got it off the easiest, honestly. Out of all the SCPs, him getting the one-hit kill removed, he got it the easiest. So after all that, I guess I'll kind of wrap this one up. So yeah, one-hit kills have mostly been removed from the game. The SCPs, I think, that have lost it, some better off than others. I do think that they are taking the game in an interesting direction. I don't know if I agree with it. It does feel like this game is getting eerily close to Dead by Daylight territory. For those of you who don't know, Dead by Daylight is probably the competitive version of these asymmetrical horror games, but I don't know how fun competitive type of games like this are. I mean, there was Evolve, and look how that turned out. But then I also remember Left 4 Dead multiplayer, and if you didn't play Left 4 Dead versus mode with the humans versus zombies, like the special infected, you missed out, bro, because that shit was cash money, I swear to God. I feel like it's leaning a little too close to DBD in some aspects. I think the one-hit kill changes, I get it from a balance perspective. I don't agree from a fun perspective. But here's the thing, I also know that fun is subjective and you need to look at the majority. And I am very much in the minority when it comes to this game. I have very, very inconsistent and incoherent views when it comes to this game. Realistically, if this game did everything I wanted, it would be dead. Granted, I would think it was the best game ever and I would rant and rave about how it was an underrated gem. But that wouldn't change the fact that nobody else would be playing it, and then I would be pretty sad because I couldn't play it. But I do feel there are some instances where I think Northwood Studio caters a little too much to the casual crowd. And let's be real here, a lot of the grievances that human players have with SCPs is really just down to the fact that most human players are dog shit at this game. Let's be real here. The last time I played an SCP last weekend, I counted, because I did a stream. I did a little quick cheeky stream on the Saturday. Out of all the hours I played, in the 4 hours I played, humans won free. Yes, count it up. 3 of those rounds. The rest were like, it was like 90% SCP win, like 5% chaos win, and then like 4% stalemate, and then like 1% those free wins humans. And honestly, it shouldn't have been like that. There are so many times where people just did not shoot the SCPs, just immediately ran away, did not escort D-boys out to get tickets, instead just killed them for the lulz. Like, and by that I mean me, because I shoot D-boys for the lol. Feel free to leave a dislike as soon as I said that. But for me, this game is heading in a direction where I feel like they really want to make this a competitive game. I think this is always going to be a meme game to me. I think this is always going to be like a fun, just mess around game. I could never take it seriously. Obviously, it's not going to be an esport. And then, next thing you know, next minute, this thing is an esport. But I think that these one-hit kill changes, whilst good for the humans, don't address the issues. Because the reality is, SCPs have been nerfed so much, and they still win every game. It's insane that SCP win rate is still 90% plus, and that's purely because humans do not know how to work together. And why would they? Like, yes, they could probably group up as MTF and, search and clear each room individually and play super tight. They never do. In the rare moments of, like brain usage that they have, where like one of the cells in their brains activate and they like go from 0 IQ points to like 1, and they're like, oh my god, we group, we all group, remember flashlight for PC blackout, yeah, we go turn on gen one by one, we kill SCP that come try turn off gen, get grenade ready in case they come. Like, in those rare cases, you see how broken MTF realistically. That's the other thing. Just remember, in Dead by Daylight, humans are stronger than killers. It's the complete it's completely different there. Once human, realistically, if you have the numbers, you really, because it's like 4 brains against, 1 brain, 1 mind of a killer versus 4 humans. But the problem with SCP is you get a wave of 20 MTF. 5 of them probably want to actually play the game seriously. 5 of them probably have Twitch open in another tab and are just like half invested. 5 of them just want to get the soundboard out and run to intercom and shitpost the whole lobby. Those 5 are my favorite, if we're being real. And then the other 5 are like literal children who, like, again, this is the first time they've ever played a video game and they're only playing it because it's free. Like, we'll never get that, I feel. But I've rambled on long enough. This is my take on one-hit kills and SCPs. I think even though they've been removed, they didn't make SCPs worse. They made SCPs more unfun. Hot take, but my final verdict on the one-hit kill changes are: it's less fun for SCPs, it's less interesting, and it did nothing for humans. I think they should probably look, and this is going to be another hot take, maybe humans should have another win con other than killing the SCPs. Like, remember how humans can win the game if enough people escape? Like, if you have more scientists escape than SCPs alive, it like forces a stalemate. I don't know the win cons off my head. Maybe we could do something like that. Just an idea. But what do I know? I'm not a developer, and at the end of the day, I'm just some random guy on the internet. But thank you for watching this video. If you do have anything you want to add or tell me, leave a comment. I do read all of them. Leave a like, and if you guys enjoyed this discussion video, this one was a quickie that I just made kind of on a whim because I really wanted to get this off my chest because I was having some fun with SCP and we were talking about it in the lobby, and I just wanted to personally get it out. But thank you for your time. You stay safe, take care, and I will catch you in the next video. Peace.